Dawes. I missed you for a while there, but you know, in order to do the job effectively, you need to take a break. So took a break, recuperate, and I'm back. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So our first 2 weeks, we can say we had 2 successful programs. However, based on requests to go over aspects of the first class we had, we will be today looking at different aspects of parts of speech, different parts of speech. And see, I have my whiteboard. So we're in a classroom setting, and I assure you it's going to be fun today. Now, starting off, we're going to look at the fact that every single word in the English language fits into one of the parts of speech. We said that already, just to reiterate. So now we're going to start off by looking at nouns. And everybody know what nouns are. However, I think the trick comes in when we have to look at the different kinds of nouns. So we know that a noun, in primary school, we say noun are naming words, right? So nouns give names to things, people, qualities, etc. Okay, so let me stand here, get my board. Okay, so we are looking at parts of speech. And we said that the parts of speech are 1, nouns, 2, pronouns, 3, verbs, adverbs. Okay, then I can put 5 here. Adjectives, prepositions, and interjections. Okay, so we have nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, and interjections. And this is the one, this is the one that we will be actually looking at today. So we said that nouns are naming words. Simply put, naming words. And we have different kinds of nouns. We have, you know what? Since we're focusing on nouns and only nouns, let us get rid of all of these now. So we have more space to work with. So nouns, we have proper nouns. We have common nouns. We have, this is one that we need to look at carefully. We have abstract, and let me see, you're able to see, a little known one, concrete. Okay, so the different kinds of nouns, the different types of nouns that we will be looking at today. Proper nouns, and we say that proper nouns are specific So proper nouns are specific names given to people, animal, places, things, etc. So let's go a little further here. Let's think about specific names. Here we have a dog. My, God rest his soul, Brutus, my dog. Specific name. Car, specific name of the car would be Toyota. Another specific girl, Shirley. Okay, and let's look at common nouns now. These are more general in nature. General, so just like we have for specific, we have Toyota, we would have car being the common noun. For specific, Brutus, we would have dog. For Shirley, we would have girl, or we would have woman. For, we may have Greg. For, no, sorry, no, this would be boy. My bad. This would be boy for Greg. Okay, so at this point, if it were face-to-face, I would have asked any questions. I take it that there are no questions, so we're going to move on. So let's, before we move on, need to clear here. So let's go over this. So nouns, we said that they're naming words. We have proper nouns and we have common nouns. Proper nouns are specific names. Common nouns are general names. So examples of specific names for a car, the general name would be car, specific would be Toyota. For boy, general boy, specific Greg. Common, general name dog, specific name Brutus. For common, you have girl or woman, specific Shirley. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let me see. Yeah, I think I can erase this for now. Let me erase this for now. Okay, collective nouns. When you think collective nouns, you automatically think a collection of things. So we think about a number of people, a number of things, etc. So let's say you have, this is my favorite thing to do when I think about people. Yeah, my students always tell me, oh, Miss Dawes, you can draw so very well. And I say, yes, I know. Okay, so we have, oh, let me not even go there. I was going to create my own scenario, but there's a scenario happening right here as we speak, where there are demonstrations. Now, we use terms without even realizing that we're using terms. So let's say these persons are our demonstrators. They are actually a group. So right there, we have a group of persons demonstrating. So right there, we have quickly identified one collective noun already. Okay, so let's think about some more. Think about another way we can group people. So a group is a collection of people. A crowd is also collective. You can say an army, because an army is made up of soldiers, right? Okay, and we go a little further. Think about what if we had a whole lot of books and we stack them, say on a shelf in a particular room or something. Very good. So we say we have a library of books. When we were going to school, we would also hear about a pack. Now, we hear about a pack of crackers, a pack of this or a pack of that, but do we also know that this word, this word here, is also used to refer to animals? So we have a pack of wolves. Think about that. Awesome, isn't it? The English language is awesome. Then I think I may have to give myself some more room to work on abstract. Okay, no, not abstract, concrete, my bad. So concrete, we already established the fact that desk and chairs, table, wall, and all of those are nouns. And generally speaking, they would fall into either this category or this category. But when we think about both categories and we're talking about something like, let's say the chair here, this chair here, we would place this because it's something that you can hold, touch, all of that. So something like that, we place it in the category of being a concrete noun. So these are things that we, as the name suggests, concrete, these are things that we can hold and touch. So concrete, we would have desks, chairs, pens, etc. Okay, and then we go to abstract nouns. Now, when you think about the word abstract, you think about things that are not readily there for you to hold. So here we speak about qualities that an individual would possess. So yeah, and this would be the time when my class would be, okay, miss, I have an answer, all of that. So let's think about some of the qualities that we want to identify at this point. Let me bring this in the center of the page. So abstract. If you say that, let me give you a sentence. Oh, and I need, when I'm through with just looking at this, we're gonna look at individual sentences whereby we can use the different nouns in different ways. Okay, so Michael Michael is a smart boy. No, this is a quality that Michael possesses. So, and this is not something that we can hold, touch, feel, and all of that. So we consider this a quality of Michael. It is abstract. Okay, so let us go back where we're gonna delve a little deeper now. So we're going into examples. So we started off with the proper. Example. This marker seems as if it is going down. Okay, Tokyo and Belgium are my favorite places to visit. Tokyo, Belgium are specific names of places because the sentence gives it away. Are my favorite places to visit. So the fact that it says these are my favorite places to visit, then we know specifically then that proper noun, proper noun. Then we look at common noun. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I could have written a more exciting sentence, but we'll work with this one for now. And you know what? I think I may use these two right here for something else. So, boys. And do we have any more common nouns in this sentence? Let us see. I refuse to let the boys run wild across the street. Street. You think? Now, let's look at it. Boys. Let's say here we have David, Paul, and Ryan. So right there, rather than saying, I refuse to let David, Paul, and Ryan run wild across the street, we replace it with boys. It's much easier. Then we have street. What if this street had a specific name? I refuse to let the boys run wild across Murphy Street. See there? So this right here would have been the proper noun, proper nouns, but these are the common nouns. Okay? And there was something else. Oh no, that's pronoun. We're not going into pronouns today. Oh, I almost delved deeper into that. Okay, so let's look at collective now. Collective. Let me see if I can, did we look at types of sentences the other day? Yes, we looked at types of sentences. So just to recap a little on types of sentences, when we looked at types of sentences, we looked at the simple sentence, we looked at the compound sentence, and if my memory serves, we may have looked at the complex sentence. So let's see if we can do a compound sentence here. And we say that, all right, we say that a compound sentence is where you have two simple sentences being joined by a conjunction. So the crowd was angry. Just thinking about another sentence that would go well with this. The crowd was angry. Oh, let me missing out the M. Hands working faster than the brain. Okay, so look at these two sentences. The crowd was angry. That's one sentence. The army secured the prime minister. So let's see how we can join these now. The crowd was angry. And let me see which one we can use. What do you think about and? The crowd was angry and the army secured the prime minister. Or what do you think about this one? The crowd was angry, but the army secured the prime minister. I would want to more work with this one, or what about this one? So the crowd was angry, so the army secured the prime minister. So right there, I would rather go with but or so, and let me explain why before I get further into what we started out with. The crowd was angry. This here, we can see right here that it's something negative. We know what crowds generally do when it comes on to anger. But then the army secured the prime minister. So we realize now that it is almost like it's a cause and effect situation. So because this happened, then that happened. But because one is negative, we want to use something that will somehow show some sort of negation, etc. So the crowd was, so we reread, the crowd was angry, but the army secured the prime minister. So because they were angry, the army had to come in and secure the prime minister. Anyway, we're going to look at that some other time. No, we're just focusing on crowd, army. And we have established the fact that these are what? These are collective nouns. You know, after I left school, this was when I learned this one. There's no space there. Yeah, I think I can erase this one because it's similar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, even though we're looking at nouns, just to go back and fro here, in our writing, and we're gonna, as the classes go further, we're gonna be looking at writing, but it is important that when we write, we try to make our sentences varied. So we do not want to have all simple sentences, and neither do we want to have all compound, complex, and all of those sentences, long sentences. We want to make it so varied so that anybody who reads whatever it is we write, they will get something from it. They know something when to enhance momentum. It all has to do with pacing and what your reader gets from your writing. Okay, so I said that this sentence here, this word here was something I actually learned long after high school. So okay, I left my marker open too long. A murder of crows. A murder of crows. Think about it. So right here, and you know, I maybe need to go do some further reading into why this word. A murder of crows. But this is how you refer to them. So those are examples for proper common collective. Yeah, I think I may need a much bigger board, but let's see how this works. You know what? This part of speech at the top of the page is really taking up a lot of the space. So let's go now. So we are still, let me put that back. So everybody who pops in will know exactly what we're looking at. Okay. So we're now looking at, and these are pretty, this is elementary, guys. Elementary. So just an aside here. There is one sentence that has all the letters of the alphabet. I told you this is an aside. I love throwing things in my classes. I know a lot of persons know this, but there are also many persons who do not know this. One sentence that has all the letters of the alphabet. I'm sorry, this is not interactive, so we could see who would be the first person to come up with it or to remember it. Let's go. Okay, so we're coming back to that. Concrete nouns, example. I hate when the desks and chairs are scattered across the room. Okay. And this sentence too, we could do so much with this sentence, but because I'm trying not to be like all over the place right now, yeah, I'm seeing this sentence can use it to teach so many things. Okay, but let's stick to what we were. Concrete. 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 Now, before we move on, look at this. Okay. Tell me now. So, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Haha. Now, see, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Haha, see? Okay, I know that there are some persons who learned something today from this. Okay, all right, so yeah, just soak it in a little, and then we move on. So the quick brown fox jumps. You know, it slipped me a while, and I almost said it jumped. ed, but it would have worked. No, it would not have worked if you had jumped, because you would have missed the s. So it has to be jumps, present tense. Yeah. So moving on, moving on, moving on. All righty. So, and then we have abstract. And what was the example we used before, Michael? Okay. Michael has a lot of courage. He went bungee jumping. So, yeah, I just had to use that because for somebody to go bungee jumping, it tells me that, oh, I'm even afraid of heights. So, that's not something that I would do. But Michael has a lot of courage. It's a quality he possesses. All right. So, let's see now, guys. We have looked at nouns, the different types of nouns here, the basic ones. Now, when we think about nouns, we cannot look at nouns by themselves without looking at pronouns. And I'll see how best we can delve into pronouns in the remaining few minutes and then take it from there. Okay. Now, before I erase all of this, I hope the children who are tuning in or who are tuned in pay attention to how I structure my sentences. And notice I try to, when I write my sentences, I try to construct them in such a way where they're actually telling you something, not just I am a girl and just leave it at that or something like that. It's actually a sentence that is meaningful. And if you practice this way when you start writing so that somebody can actually pick sense from your sentence, you realize that as you develop into a writer, as your writing skills improve, then you are going to become a better writer. Okay. And we go back into looking at pronouns. And what did we say pronouns do? You cannot miss that. They replace nouns. They take the place of nouns. Now, I realize that you have a lot of young people who no longer believe in fairy tales or who don't read fairy tales. The question came up the other day about, I was singing a whole lot of nursery rhymes because, yeah, my childish side kicks in every now and again. People who know me will tell you. My childish side kicked in, and I was just singing a whole lot of nursery rhyme, and I was doing the I'm a little teapot, short and stout, and the whole works. And somebody said to me, yeah, that's all they taught you in school. And I was like, but of course. That's why, one, I have such good memory. Well, yeah, it's a given. But these things actually help children to not only retain their memory, but it gives them a sense of rhythm and it enhances the imagination. So I know some persons will complain that they don't want their children to be reading nursery rhymes and the cow jump over the moon and all of those things. Guys, it is not to be taken literally. I'm having students now who tell me, Miss, I don't have an imagination. And I'm like, I was singing Hickory Dickory Dock the other day, and a student asked me, Miss, what's that you're singing? And I'm like, you've never heard this? Guys, don't rob your children of the chance to just enjoy childhood. These are some of the things, the little foolishness, the little nonsenses that enhances the imagination, that helps. These are the things that help them later on to become good writers. Okay, so enough of me on that topic. So pronouns, they replace nouns. So let's go back into looking at the proper and common nouns. So look at this sentence. Are you saying yes? Mary carried Mary's books in Mary's bag. Imagine that. Mary carried Mary's books in Mary's bag. Now, we take it that this Mary here and this Mary is referring to this Mary. Now, if we were supposed to write this, let's say they never invented pronouns. This is what we would end up with. If pronouns were not invented, this is what we would get. And this sentence would just frazzle our brains. So thank God they created pronouns. So look at this now. Mary carried her books in her bag. See how simple that is? We don't have to be tripping over tongues and all of that. And in essence, it makes it easier for persons who are not comfortable with the use of apostrophe, because we know that right here. You know what I realize? There are so many persons around us who do not know how to pluralize words. I have seen so many persons pluralizing things and they have apostrophe S. This apostrophe S right here, and that is something that we are going to get into later on when we start looking at punctuation. This apostrophe S here shows ownership. Apostrophe works in a number of ways. See, there are so many things you can branch off in when you use it in English. Okay, we have apostrophe showing possession and contraction. For example, the word cannot. A lot of times when we're not writing, if we're writing formally, we use cannot. But if we're writing casually and all of that, then we use the contracted form of the word, C-A-N, and we have the apostrophe T. The apostrophe here is called the apostrophe of contraction because it actually contracts the word, and it shows here, wherever the apostrophe is, it shows that something is missing. Here is something that I don't text shorthand, but I can be shorthanded at times. So most mornings, if I'm texting, I will have this. I have the G and I have the apostrophe and I have the morning. So or I do the same thing for a good evening, etc. So the apostrophe there tells you that something is missing, apostrophe of contraction. And then you have the apostrophe of possession here. So guys, I hope nobody will be using apostrophe S to show pluralization. Moving on from here. Okay, so we said that the pronoun takes the place of a noun. So in this case, rather than saying Mary carried Mary's books in